Welcome back, my name's Rob Lang and this is my co-op exploration game Clomper. Today you're going to watch me fail to play my own game properly. We're going to go on a quest, we're going to lay a lot of pipes and we're going to have some fun while we do it. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is get this machine here running. This is the con and this tells us all the important information about what's going on inside. We have a health meter, we have a speedo, a compass, a quest tracker, and this thing outside is our scrap resources, but we'll come on to that later. So to lay pipes, I select them down here in my inventory and I'm just going to left click here up on this port and lay some pipes down. Now we're looking to get this over to one of the boilers over there, and I have a favourite that I'm going to go for, so I'm just going to move these pipes round. So to rotate, I hold down the left click button, I can press E to make it rotate, and I've missed that one, so let's do that one again. And as you can see now over here we have power. We can tell that because that white steam ball at the top is lit up and this one down here is lit up as well. So I've powered up the map using this T-piece and I've powered up the con using that long line there. We're not moving at the moment, but the health ball is showing us our current health state. And the map is fully with us. And all of these pieces that are sticking up show us that they're mountains. We don't want to hit those, but otherwise we're in quite a large flat area, which is nice. So that's all very well, but what we need is a quest to go on. Now the quests don't generate automatically right now, so I'm just going to use the dev console to create us a quest. If I left click on that quest, it opens up and we can have a read. Dearest friends, we have received a communique from a Professor Ernst Waterwile, who has discovered a replacement boiler but cannot retrieve it to its laboratory. If you want to help, then pop this tube in the tracker. Lawrence. Kiss. For some reason still, I don't know why I keep doing that. Right hand mouse button to close that, and we can now pop this in the tracker, which is any one of these four. We have four that we can do simultaneously, but we're only going to do one at the moment. We now have a quest. Sometimes it appears on the map as a red circle, but it's created it a fair way away from us. The other thing that it's made is this green marker here, which shows us the direction of the quest. Of course, if you've got 4 quests, you'll see 4 markers, but we've only got one, and it's round to the southeast. So what we want to do now is we want to turn the Clomper to the southeast. Now before we do that, I'm just going to switch off these 2 boilers here because I do have a frame rate problem currently with the steam, so I can't have too much of it running at once. These are the legs up and down the sides here, and I'm going to take this boiler here and I'm going to connect it all the way up to these. Now I'm going to stop short of connecting this up, because if I connect this leg up, or all of these legs up to the steam, then we will start turning immediately, and we don't want that. So I'm going to put in a valve which can either switch off the steam as it is now, make it go to 50% or go to 100%. So that will mean that there's no steam coming into any of these legs just yet. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. Now another good place to put a valve is here, and the reason for that is the more legs you have powered, the faster you go. So if you want to go slowly, then you just power up one leg and leave these off. If you want to go fast, then you can open up all the valves. I'm just going to make sure I've done that on the other side, which I haven't, so let's put another valve in there. Okay, so we're now ready to make a turn. So we're north at the moment and we want to go southeast. We need to point round to the right. So you can see the compass turning, and with it the green needle is coming round, and I guarantee it's going to point us straight at these mountains. So we're going to have to probably steer around them. There is a fair amount of RNG going on here. I haven't fixed the seed, which was probably a terrible idea. But that's how we are at the moment. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop, because we can see that if we were to point any further round to the right, we would be pointing straight at these mountains. So I'm going to carry on going straight forward at this point. So I'm going to open up both sides, and you can see now we're moving forward, and our speedo is telling us we're doing well, just over 3. So how do we get a bit more speed going on? Well, let's come to a halt and let's look at our boiler situation. So at the moment we're not using these 2 middle boilers at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my boiler layout so they're all linked together. Okay, so now I have all the steam power linked together. Let's get our legs moving and see how fast we go now. So rather than going just over 3, we're doing almost 5, and that's with just a few of the legs moving. Now you can see that the green marker is moving ever so slightly around to the right, so when we come past this mountain here, we're going to end up steering south. And if we move forward at that, we might just skim this mountain. Because I'm recording this video for you, I'm slightly nervous about getting too close or shooting any tight gaps, so you probably won't see me doing much of that. I don't want to have to start again recording this video. This is my 3rd attempt. Now I'm going to close the legs down on this side so we turn but we keep moving forward. You don't have to shut off all the legs, it will drive in a curve. Aha! This is good news. You can see over here there is a red patch which tells us that that is where the quest item is. Great! So the quest item is going to be somewhere in that blob, which is very close. So let's slow ourselves down. And it looks like it's really close up against the mountains, which is why it makes it look like it's all mountainous. Okay, now we're getting quite close, so let's look at our next machine. So what we could do is we could drive over here, line ourselves up and pick up the item this way. But it's a lot easier if you look outside. So what we're going to do is use this machine over here, which is a periscope, which will let us look outside. Great, so we have the steam powered ball up and we can pop into the periscope. I think there's a collider that's incorrectly placed. Here we are inside the periscope. We have a green marker which shows us where the quest item is. It's somewhere in front of us, and we have 2 other arrows. The red one tells us the direction of the Clomper is pointing, and the gold one is the direction we're pointing. And we see we've got some mountains over there and we've got some mountains over there. So let's pop back, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to slow us right down, and I can do that by reducing the amount of steam by setting those 2 to half on there and doing the same on this side. This will allow us to go a bit slower than 3, I believe, because it only cuts the steam in half, and we're using quite a lot of the steam. So let's just inch forward, and we're now still doing 4. That's because the amount of steam going into those legs is still far too much. Okay, that's no problem. So let's come a bit closer. Let's have another look. There it is. Not right in front of us. See, that's where the Clomper is pointing. So it's just over to our left, and we're going to try and line up on it and drive over the top. That should be pretty perfect. Now the next place to look is we want to look down here. This is the claw camera, which is right underneath the Clomper, and I'm hoping that we're going to see it come into the front here, and then we can stop the Clomper. There it is. Let's stop the Clomper. We only really need to turn off one side to start with. There we go. So that's our quest item. Now we need to power up the claw, and the claw has 5 tubes in total that we need to sort out. So I warn you, this is a little bit complicated at the moment because the number of pipes I have is limited. So I'll get back to you after a quick time lapse. So the claw is now powered up, so we can move the claw forwards and backwards, and we can move it side to side. And we do so we can line up the claw right in the middle of the pick up and drop quest item. There we go. I will label these eventually. I mean, it confuses the bees out of me. Right, so we can also move the claw up and down. We can move the claw down and we can move it up. There we go. I'm restricting the power into the claw because it can move extremely quickly and it's very difficult to see what's going on. So if I move it all the way down, it doesn't really need to be dead center, and I can then pull the grab and then move it back up again. Now, because the pick up and drop quest is filling up the whole camera, we can see what the claw's doing using this dial here. And that's all very well. You could clomp your way over to the drop-off location, but it's very difficult to line up the claw, so we're going to bring the quest item inside, and for that we need to set the handle to lift. However, it's not come inside because we've not powered up the lift yet, and the lift is over here. So we're just going to power this one up. This one is a lot easier. So the steam ball is lit up and we now have power onto lift. So I can drop this lift down. Bye bye lift. So let's bring it up inside the Clomper. Hello, success. Right, this is the boiler that we are going to be dropping off to the professor. So let's find out where that's got to go. The quest marker has moved now, and that is because we have picked it up, so it's immediately moved it over, and it's now pointing northwest. So let's turn around and see where that might be. Now, once again, that's pointing at a mountain. So let's go around this side of the mountain by turning a bit further. Great, so that's nice and clear in that direction. So let's see how much speed we can get going on. Now, it's important to note that things like the lift will be taking power. So what we're going to do here is stick a valve in, and we're going to keep it off because we're not using the lift at the moment. And the same can be said for the claw, we're not using that. So let's turn that off too. And we're going to keep an eye on the map, because if we don't pay attention, we will hit something, and that's how I normally die. Are we clear of that mountain yet? Yes, we are. So let's now turn around to the left. Now it'd be slightly daring now to go see if we could push the speed all the way up. We're not using the periscope either at the moment, so let's stick another valve in. And now let's try some ludicrous speed. Let's get all of them going. As you can see, our speed is now all the way up beyond 11. And we're really motoring along. Aha! We can see in front of us that the drop-off location is coming. We're heading straight at it, which is probably a first. I've never managed to do that. It's right in front of us. So let's pop over to the periscope. We must remember to switch it on because we switched it off. And let's have a look out the front. Now it's slightly to our right. Now that black lump on the floor, that's probably scrap. Hopefully you can see right in front of us, bathed in light, there is an octagon. And that is the drop-off location. We'll just wait for a cloud clearance. Can you see it there? Now, we're not quite going over the top of it, but that should be near enough for it to go in the claw. We're just going to adjust ourselves a little bit. If there's more of you playing, this is so much easier. So let's close that one just a little bit, bring us round just a touch, and then have a watch on the claw. And we're looking for, it's quite a big octagon. It didn't look big on the floor a minute ago, but it is quite large. Don't forget, there it is. Right, let's turn that off and let's see if that is within reach of the claw. Yes, it is. Look at that. Fantastic. What luck. Don't think I've ever done it that smoothly. I'm completely unable to move the claw. I'm just so delighted. Now we are still moving, and that's because I haven't shut off that side. Just making my life a bit more difficult. There we go. So that's now lined up, and we're going to now move the handle of the claw into its lift position, and we're going to go and say goodbye to the quest. So toodaloo, Mr. Boiler. Enjoy your service with the Professor, and you can see this handle isn't moving because I switched it off. I always forget to do that. And let's bring it down. I think I might have hit it twice. So it's coming back up. Let's bring it down again. Oh, it got to the bottom. I've just discovered a bug. Lovely. So when it got to the bottom, it actually despawned, but I managed to bring it up again immediately by double pressing on there. Very curious. That's a bug. I should go fix that one. It's lovely the things you find. Now, this is now holding on to the item and it's in the up position, so we could drop it gently down or we could just chuck it. And that's what we've done, and it's captured by the point, sinks in through the floor, and the quest is complete. And you'll see the quest tube has disappeared from the tracker, and that quest is done. Now the next thing I'd like to show you is getting some scrap. You want to be picking up scrap in the big open spaces, unless of course you're a bit desperate. Oh look, there's some scrap down there. It's very close to that wall though, isn't it? You know, if I was just playing this myself, I'd probably go for that. I'd probably do that one. But this is not the day for trying things that are a little bit cheeky. This is the day for moving forward and seeing if we can find one that's a bit more out in the open. Right, I have managed to, very luckily, by randomly hitting the valves lined up on a piece of scrap. Let's inch forward and see if we can get this up into the Clomper. Aha, there it is. We're going to grab it and we're going to lift it up. And we're going to send it to the lift. The lift has got power, we'll bring the lift down. Now scrap in the future will be the resource that you'll buy pipes and fix damage and so forth with. That's coming much later, but I'm sure you can imagine what an inventory with a spending of a resource looks like. And the way that we turn it in is with the grinder here, which is a machine that we've not powered up yet. Let's bring the scrap over now. And now we can put a bunch of it into the grinder. As you can see there, it's got some bugs associated with it, but I can fix those, no problem. So let's say that we're off away somewhere doing some work, and we're not really paying attention to how fast we're going, and really we're doing 11 straight at a mountain. And we just think that we're in this open space, and we're not anywhere in mountains. Bang! And all of a sudden, wow, what a mess. And the frame rate has gone completely out the window. There's different sorts of damage. Obviously the pipes have flown all over the place, but we can also lose some machines. And I'm looking for one that may have died. I think the map. Okay, so if I go over to a machine that has died, and I can press E, and it gives me an up, down, left, right code. So I go down, down, up, left, and then this machine is now repaired. We also have girders that we can do the same with. That's as far as I have got with Clomper at the moment. If you like what you've seen, please hit the like button. If you've got any thoughts or feedback, then please leave a comment below. Thank you very much for getting through to the end. Now stay safe, and until next time, bye bye.